You know, it's sad, people. It's said that people who actually deserve these jobs in the SAPS don't get the jobs, and jobs go to people who are able to pay. This is why we have a crisis in our justice system here in South Africa. Because we have police officers who don't have a passion or a calling to become police officers. A career like being a police officer, a doctor, those kinds of careers, those things come with a calling. You have to feel a deep passion inside of you to want to serve and protect. But the police force has turned into something that anyone can just participate in as long as they can be able to pay the bribes, as long as they have connections. It doesn't matter whether that person is passionate by being a police officer or not. And that is why we have so many corrupt officials running around here in South Africa. That is the reason why. The people who actually have the passion to serve and protect the citizens of South Africa don't get those jobs. The people who don't have the money to bribe but are smart enough to pass the tests and have a passion to serve and protect the people of South Africa are sitting at home. And the people in uniform, the people who are busy running around with blue lights here at night, are people without any passion, people who don't help us at all, you know.
Abanye bangena ngoba bekhokha imali. That's why bengenandaba neSouth Africa. Iphoyisa likwazi ukubulala umuntu wase-South Africa over eNigeria. Iphoyisa lincamela ukubulala umuntu wase-South Africa over umuntu okufika.
Abenzi ubone nomlungu lo wade bethi bamfonela license esibhamu school public.
Ngitshele
Bamyeka bamsaba.
bamsaba.
Kodwa kube yimina ophela
Ukube kuwena bengabe
bakhuluma
bakhuluma
impama kabi noma ngidume.
They understand lento leyo. Yini emaphoyiseni moyo ubhala itest ubhale ngomsisi. Ngiyabuza mzali, uyibhalani i-test ngomsisi? It because bafuna ukuthi wena kwi-profile yakho mase upasa yonke into, ususa i-ID, ususa igama, kufaka omunye umuntu. Ngangifisa ukuba yiphoyisa kodwa ngibonile ukuthi ukuba yiphoyisa it's useless sometimes. Ngoba egcineni kwakho konke ufela iqiniso lokuthi wena uvikela abantu bakithi. We need a new blood. We need a new character ezokwazi ukususa isithunzi sobumnyama kuthina. Ngeke izwe lakithi lihambile, ngeke salithola. Hambe Cape Town ujo drive Uber Cape Town. Ngeke drive Uber Cape Town ungwase South Africa. Never. Won't drive me, but it's not drive because it's operated by Nigerians and illegal immigrants. Umengameli wezwe wasimbela imigodi. Siphila. Cyril Ramaphosa wasimbela imigodi siphila. Waphinde wabulala abantu eMarikana. Umengameli wezwe unamaplazi, unamafemu, uneyimayini. Mengameli wezwe is a businessman, not a politician, not a president. That's why he don't care about the country.
My fellow beautiful South Africans, you know, I just want to first start off by saying I honestly appreciate the level of fearlessness that South Africans have these days when it comes to addressing issues that plague us here in South Africa. If you can pay attention, South Africans are no longer afraid to say what's on their minds because we have reached that point where we no longer care who says what or who does what as long as the truth is out there. Because if we continue being a silent nation, nothing is going to change. These people who think have power are going to continue dancing on the top of our heads as regular South Africans. So, we need to use our freedom of speech, like this young man is doing right here. For those of you who maybe don't understand isiZulu, this man is basically trying to tell us that here in South Africa, illegal foreigners have more rights than South Africans, which is something that I can agree with. I've noticed many times that us as South Africans, when we protest, it doesn't matter what kind of protest it is. But if South Africans take to the street and try to protest, when the police come there, they come with a sort of confidence and aggression that is out of this world. They are going to come there, throw tear gases, shoot us with rubber bullets, spray us with water, make sure that they disperse the crowd. That is what they are going to do. But if you can look at the way they approach foreign, illegal foreign protests, if you can look at the way they approach those protests when Nigerians are protesting or when Zimbabweans are protesting, they'll be just standing there doing nothing, letting these people disrespect us in our own country. They will never shoot them with rubber bullets. They will never spray them with water or throw tear gas at them. No, they'll be just standing there letting the people do as they please. If you want proof, proof is here on my channel. I've made some videos where Ethiopians were protesting, where Pakistanis were protesting, and I was asking the very same question to say, why aren't the police arresting those people there? Because those people don't have documents and they are there in their crowd. Why don't the police just arrest them all there and deport them? Why are they just standing there letting these people do as they please? Well, the answer to that is simple. The answer is illegal foreigners have more rights here in South Africa compared to us, which is a very sad reality. A very, very sad reality. Because this is the reason why these illegal foreigners are so confident and entitled here in South Africa. Because they've also realized that the South African authorities, the South African government doesn't really care about the people of South Africa. So they can do as they please and nothing is going to happen to them, especially when they are in a crowd. That's why I'm making this example of the protests. Especially when they are in a crowd. There's many of them in one place. They know for a fact that the police won't do anything. The government won't do anything. They're just going to continue running around our streets doing as they please. You know? It's really sad living in a country like South Africa where you can look at the unemployment rate is out of the roof. What this man is saying that in Cape Town you won't drive an Uber as a South African is the truth. I was in Cape Town for a couple of months and I can attest and tell you that it's the truth. I didn't see a South African driving an Uber or driving Bolt. It's all Nigerians. There are neighborhoods in Cape Town around the city that are solely occupied by Nigerians and Congolese mostly. And as I was looking at those places, I would ask myself that how is it possible for people to have their own sort of country inside our own country, South Africa? I know a lot of people always cry about the whites that are occupying places in Cape Town, the Israelites, saying the Israelis or Israelites, whatever they call them, that they are buying properties in Cape Town. But people are not talking about the devastating number of people who come from African countries there by Cape Town. They have their own neighborhoods where if you are a South African, you feel as if you are in a different country. You feel as if you are a foreigner when you are in your country, South Africa. Imagine. Imagine being in a place in South Africa, but when you are there, you feel like you are in Nigeria. You feel like you are in Congo. You don't relate to anyone around there. They can actually see you. You can see it in the way they look at you that this one isn't from here. This one is not one of us. Imagine. So this man that I stitched right here is also outlining that point to say you will never drive an Uber here in South Africa. And it's not only in Cape Town. The same thing is happening in Johannesburg. The same thing is happening in Pretoria, all around South Africa. It's just that in Cape Town, it's worse. Because in Johannesburg, you can see South Africans who drive these e-hailing cars. Even in Pretoria, anywhere in South Africa, you can actually see that it's a mixture of foreigners and South Africans. But there by Cape Town, it was something strange because I didn't see any South Africans. I only saw foreigners, which is something that I didn't appreciate at all. The delivery services is foreigners. The restaurants is foreigners. It's as if black South Africans have no place there. And then this man is also outlining this issue of corruption by the SAPS there when it comes to recruitment, which is something that I don't want to speak about kakulu, because it's something that I haven't experienced yet, because I've never wanted to be a police officer, so I've never went through those things. But you can hear it in the way he's speaking that he doesn't like the manner in which these recruitment processes are being run. He doesn't appreciate it at all. And again, for those of you who don't understand this Zulu, when it comes to this issue of the SAPS, this man is saying that when you are going to write a test or whatever it is that you write when you want to become a police officer, they actually give you a pencil to write with, not a pen. Why do they do that? They do that because if it happens that you pass, they can just remove your ID number, remove your name, and just insert someone who has paid the bribe, who didn't even write. And you will be waiting for a response only to be rejected. And you will wonder why, because you know for a fact that you passed. But your script is now having someone else's name, someone else's details, and not yours. And he's asking, why do we have to write with pencils during this SAPS recruitment? Why can't we write with pens? And the answer to that is simple. I'm pretty sure as I'm speaking like this, you already know what's the answer to that. The answer to that is simply corruption. Corruption. Exactly what he's saying, that they want to remove your name and put someone else who paid the bribe. It's sad, people. It's sad that people who actually deserve these jobs in the SAPS don't get the jobs, and jobs go to people who are able to pay. This is why we have a crisis in our justice system here in South Africa. Because we have police officers who don't have a passion or a calling to become police officers. A career like being a police officer, a doctor, those kinds of careers, those things come with a calling. You have to feel a deep passion inside of you to want to serve and protect. But the police force has turned into something that anyone can just participate in as long as they can be able to pay the bribes, as long as they have connections. It doesn't matter whether that person is passionate by being a police officer or not. And that is why we have so many corrupt officials running around here in South Africa. That is the reason why. The people who actually have the passion to serve and protect the citizens of South Africa don't get those jobs. The people who don't have the money to bribe but are smart enough to pass the tests and have a passion to serve and protect the people of South Africa are sitting at home. And the people in uniform, the people who are busy running around with blue lights here at night, are people without any passion, people who don't help us at all. There's a lot of nonsense that is happening here in South Africa, people. And come 2026, we need to make sure that we make our voice heard on the coming elections. Let us vote using logic instead of emotions. Because we can't continue like this. We need change here in South Africa as soon as yesterday, people. But then, that's just what I wanted to show you and to speak about in this episode of The Spotlight. So please tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this whole video and everything that I've been saying. I would really appreciate to hear your own thoughts and opinions. But then if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel, and this is Mzansi Versity, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.